Okay, when do you start it? Because I hit record and I'm not going to say anything. It's your job now.
I haven't seen this movie.
Hey, folks, welcome back to what's the name of the series?
Fuck if I know.
Unsolicited movie talk.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Unsolicited Movie Talk. Here in the Discord call, trying to figure out a way to start this video. We're talking about Toy Story 3. I'm apparently speaking now. I'm Gatai or Jake, depending on your level of familiarity with me. I'm the guest here. Your two hosts are...
Leroy.
And movies.
These are the same glasses that played the character Hollywood in the movie The Mannequin.
In the movie The Mannequin, yeah.
Anyway.
If we haven't showing that video, we need to. Anyway,
Yeah. What an excellent choice.
I mean, I guess since I'm the one who hasn't seen the movie, I should do my bit of saying what I do know about it, and then you can be like, yeah, pretty much.
I'll just be like,
not really. And then you can talk about your experiences with it, I guess. This is past the point where I had like a streak of Pixar movies that I had seen. I have seen Brave, which is a couple away from here, but other than that, I've pretty much not seen any Pixar movies after.
Is it not actually the next one, or is that Cars 2? I never remember.
Cars 2 is next.
Okay.
Then Brave. Then Monsters U, I want to say. Anyway, so I know that this one was quite a while after the second one. And it was like
2010, I believe.
Yes, yeah. This is the heartwarming, sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes you'll cry conclusion of
It's the coming of age story where everybody who took their kids to see Toy Story 1, now their kid is going to college and they're just that's
So
all you need to know.
Andy's grown up. He's going to college. He's too old for his toys, but is he? But he just can't decide if he wants to keep Woody or not, or something. Maybe, I don't know. The toys end up at some I don't know what to call it. It's like a daycare or something, right?
Yeah.
Where they get. I think they get played with by just random toys.
There's a political hierarchy.
Yeah, I know that among the toys there. The guy in charge is the big bear Lotso. He's like a big pink stuffed bear, and I know his deal is that he seems nice, but he's secretly super manipulative. And
no, actually, he's a very upstanding guy. There's nothing wrong with him at all.
Yeah, it's the toy. It's actually Woody is the villain, and it's Buzz, and all of our toys have secretly been villains the whole time.
Oh, okay. But his whole thing is, I think he's resentful that he got thrown away, so it's like crab bucket mentality where he doesn't want anyone else to be happy or get a chance at going, so he always
more or less
like that, I think.
I've seen this movie twice. That sounds about right.
He's like a different approach to what Stinky Pete was, I suppose. After we watch the movie and discuss it, we can kind of compare and contrast and make a Venn diagram and highlight things in different colors and make it really gay.
Yeah.
But,
I know that there's the part where they're all they're about to fall into the incinerator or something, and there's a cut for dramatic effect, and then it comes back, and they're like, oh no, they actually hung on to this or something. But there was several people that pranked their family by editing the movie, so it just cut off there and went straight to credits.
You are partially correct. You've got the idea.
Yeah.
Scene is only slightly traumatizing.
Is this the movie that also has the part where Ken is tied up and goes, "Oh, Barbie," and somehow people keep hearing it? Sorry, people keep mishearing it as "Oh, fuck," because
apparently
the phonics of it are weird.
I have no memory of this.
I've heard of this.
Barbie has a great line, but I don't remember anything about Ken.
Ken is interesting. It's amazing to me that they actually gave Barbie a character in this movie, and she does stuff and is kind of interesting.
On an unrelated note, have any of you seen the movie Barbie from a couple of years ago?
I have not.
Yeah, I liked it.
I watched it on the plane.
I thought it was solid.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thought too. I watched it on the plane. It was fun. It was a fun movie.
Does she or does she not bend it like a knife? Real ones will get that reference.
I'm just gonna say no, but she bends it like Beckham, which is not true, but I will pretend that that's a relevant reference. Anyway, what about you two?
I didn't see this one in the theater, and I think this was the last one I didn't for a while. And I basically I watched it at some point later on when I think this was, back when Netflix actually did DVDs. We rented it, and the kids were watching it, and I was generally enjoying it, and then it got to the traumatizing scene, and my mom got a phone call, and we had to pause it for like half an hour.
Oh, no.
Where I'm like, okay, I need to know what the hell is going to happen here, because, like, Jesus Christ. My thing with this movie is, for some reason, I have this memory of, like, it feels like it goes by really fast. It seems like there's a good amount of setup, and then when it gets to the part that I would say is, like, this is the meat of the movie, it feels like it just kind of goes by in a blink, and then it kind of immediately starts concluding. And I guess I'll see if I still feel that way. I also feel like it kind of reiterated the same point a few times early on with, like, we got to move on without Andy. He doesn't need us anymore. And then Woody, does his thing. And then I feel like a couple scenes later we have basically the same thing, but I could just be misremembering.
Yeah, my memory of this movie is not super clear outside of like 2 or 3 pivotal bits, right? The traumatizing scene, the final, I think, scene, and Barbie's best line. And I think Buzz, like, speaks in Spanish, I think, is a thing.
I do remember hearing about that, yeah.
For some reason, they've always got to do some sort of reset on Buzz. In Toy Story 2, it was just, here, we'll bring in another Buzz. In this one, it's literally a reset on Buzz. And then in the fourth movie, they just made him stupid. But
I have not even seen the fourth movie. I remember liking this movie. I think I saw it twice in theaters. I was still very much riding the high from Loving Up, and I was like, I'm going to watch and obsess about the new Pixar thing also. And I was... not quite the perfect age, but like a year off from the perfect age. I was, this is 2010, so I was like the summer leading into my senior year of high school. And Andy, of course, is graduating high school, going to college, so I was almost perfect for that, and I think that helped it land emotionally for me.
Makes sense.
I was a bit older. I had been out of high school for... if this was 2010, it would have been like 3 years already. And, I was... as some may know, originally going to go to college, and it just kind of didn't happen. Things fell through, and I'm just kind of bummed around for 27 years. But the only other thing I have to say generally about this, without hyper-focusing on any details, is when I worked for the call center with AT&T, apparently this movie was airing on cable freaking constantly in like the premium movie channels, the like your freaking, probably not HBO, but like I'm trying to think what the tier below that was. It was like there's TMC, the movie channel, very creative name. I don't remember what the others were, but people would always complain that it's the same movies over and over again, and they would always cite Toy Story 3 specifically. And we would sometimes have these people come in and, we'd have a meeting, and they would, try to upsell us on how great the service is and everything, and this is the stuff you should be saying to the customers. And they mentioned that, like, Toy Story 3 airs a lot because it's the highest grossing animated movie, and, no matter how many times they air it, it still gets lots of views, so they're going to keep airing it. It's like, great, what do I do with that info? If somebody doesn't want to watch it, me saying like, "Oh, but it's really good though."
You really do.
It's like
you really do want to watch it. Corporate says so.
Yeah.
Go watch the fucking movie again.
Maybe you just didn't understand it the first time, or the second time, or the third time.
It's actually very deep. But no.
Yeah, I do know that at the end, I just remembered like. There's kind of like the emotional conclusion to the arc of like Woody accepts being taken in by another kid, and it's like the cycle of life continues, and then he looks into the sunset as like acoustic guitar starts playing, or something.
Probably.
That might be a little on the nose, but I can't count it out.
All right. We good to start then, or?
Yep.
Ready?
Okay. We'll see you in a bit.
After the cut, we'll all be in tears and forever changed by the experience.
Yes.
So get ready for that.
Just go with it, Buzz. So.
Just go with it, Buzz.
Just go with it, Buzz.
Yeah. The entire credit sequence from the moment that the Spanish version of You've Got a Friend in Me started just had that caption over it. It was a little on the stupid side.
Yeah.
Okay, so first question I need to ask, was there cutting onions going on for anybody else? Or was that just me? God damn it.
I teared up a bit during the incinerator scene. Yes. Not full bawling, but certainly, yeah, it hits.
Yeah. That scene and the goodbye with Andy both are just...
Yeah.
Ugh.
See, I'm gonna be the asshole here because I remembered partway through this movie that I heard other people had kind of a complaint about the ending, where they're like, it seems a little bit ridiculous that Andy is still this like emotionally attached to his toys at age 17, and I'm like, thus far throughout the movie, I was like, well, he seems like he's a little hesitant to give up Woody, but he just has a bit more of attachment to him. But like, it's really a little bit, just a smidge overblown in the ending.
It is.
I was like staring at him longingly for like 10 full seconds. Like, you better take real good care of him.
The thing is, like, I agree it went a little bit too far, I think, but I also am very sentimental about stuff. I'm hesitant to get rid of,
I am too,
junk I've had for ages, so I can get it.
But like, he also hadn't played with them for ages. They were just sitting in the toy box. It's not like he had them out on display and thought about them a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, but
if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. But also having some younger kind of family members growing up and now talking to them about the things that I loved when I was a kid, I can understand getting back into that emotional space when you are being kind of earnest and direct with a small child.
That makes sense. Yeah. And to be honest, like, he's also like, it's like the day he's leaving for college. He's probably like, it's probably being enhanced by his other feelings. As much as he was trying to, play it cool in front of his mom, like he's definitely, feeling some things about going away from her.
Yeah, leaving his childhood behind.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's still tied up in that. But I did find it just a bit melodramatic, and it was a little bit hard for me to take super seriously.
Yeah, I don't even disagree. I don't remember if it was Doug Walker. It was somebody I watched that was talking about the movie, saying, basically, like, look at this dweeb just playing with these toys with this little girl, and he's got giving Woody a piggyback ride and playing pretend and stuff. It's like, okay, like, I don't know.
Okay, this is like the kid of his mom's friend or something. I can believe that he would let himself indulge in playing pretend a little when he's passing on his toys. That part didn't bother me, honestly. It was mostly just the angst beforehand, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun movie. I really liked
the part where they died. Yeah, that was cool.
For the kids.
I guess before we start getting into story stuff, I appreciate all the callbacks. The entire intro had the callbacks to the stupid play sessions at the beginning of the first two movies. Some of it verbatim, like the attack dog with the built-in force field and stuff. I love that stuff. There was an exchange with this isn't the time to get hysterical. This is a perfect time to get hysterical. They did that in the first movie with Buzz and Woody. They just said, this is no time to panic. I
missed every single one of those callbacks because I haven't seen those original movies in a long time.
It's been only a few months for me, but I only saw them the one time for this, so...
I like that they...
It's cool to know that they're throwbacks, yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned this one when we were watching it, just the aliens just, saved our lives. Like, they've been doing this shit for, 8 years. Mr. Potato Head is so done with it. I also really like that they didn't dwell on it at all, but they definitely showed Jesse's, paranoia over being, left in isolation and stuff, because she dealt with that for so long before.
Yeah, they honored that trauma.
Consistent through line.
Yeah. That was basically it. Like I said, it's just there were nice little callbacks. Also, the very last shot of the clouds is the exact same clouds from the wallpaper in the first movie.
That's good.
And at the beginning of this movie, it started with that.
Yeah. By the way, I think I should double check this. I'm pretty sure that it's the same voice actor for Andy. He was just some random kid in the first 2 movies. Obviously not an actor. They just kind of had a kid. And they're like, hey, making a sequel. He's grown up. Want to do it again?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Makes sense to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely liked it a lot. This was very, very fun throughout. They did a lot of cool, especially the prison break. They did cool stuff with the toy features and just the environment, playing with that, and especially with Mr. Potato Head taking himself apart and putting himself in a tortilla and then a sausage or whatever.
I think it was a cucumber.
A lot of really. Oh! I could not tell that. That was a big sausage.
Well, that's why he said I feel so fresh and healthy. I hate it.
I was so confused about that. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess this sausage. I don't know. Okay, it was the lighting of the scene. He looked brown.
Yeah.
Not green. Anyway, yeah.
I think I'm reminded now of every Pixar movie. When we talked about it last time, it's what if X had feelings. But if the premise lends itself to a lot of really good kind of visual humor and physical humor, like this toy setup does, right? It can carry what is otherwise a pretty conventional story.
That too, yeah. And of course, it is still applicable to. It is. They got to think of a theme that can work on the toy level and at the kind of more human level that we can relate to, and because none of us have the experience of being part of a group of objects that is owned and belongs to somebody that, but it's, you can apply it to other kinds of relationships and commitments in your life or whatever, and and stuff from that, with Stinky Pete last time and lots of this time. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, and Andy doesn't obviously get as much screen time as the toys, but the conflict that he is facing about letting go of something is the same that Woody is dealing with, and the same that scarred Lotso in the past. So they thread that throughout both the human and the toy storylines.
I will say, maybe I'm just not thinking about it hard enough, or I missed something. I'm not really seeing much of a connection between the motivation of Lotso being jaded from being abandoned, turning him into, I can see why that would, they said something snapped and he became, a darker person. I don't know why it turned into he's built this fucking pyramid scheme empire thing, where I guess it's just
he just wants to feel important thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is, Lotso is just it's amazing how despicable of a villain he is. He is just an asshole. At the end of the movie, there were a couple chances for him to redeem himself, and he's like, nah, I gotta stay the course. I'm gonna just continue to be an asshole. Does it help me at all to hit this button to stop the conveyor belt and save them? Or does it help me at all to let them die? No, but I'm gonna do it anyway because fuck them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess you could argue maybe he feared that they would do something to him if they escaped as well, but... And
this was after, Woody risked himself to save him from underneath the, golf bag or whatever it was. It's dude, you were horrible to them, he saved you, and then you're still letting them die. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's funny, I was actually thinking partway through the movie that Woody, yeah, this Woody is consistent with the one from the first one because he has kind of a selfish streak. He was essentially the villain of the first movie, but then I was actually kind of surprised a little bit that he saved Lotso, but I wasn't at the same time because it's a kids movie, so like they're not just gonna leave him to die. But I think more realistically, this is going to sound incredibly stupid. If Woody was a real sentient toy and he was consistent, I don't know that Woody would have saved that guy. I think he would have been like, nah, fine. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it ties in with Andy's speech at the end that like you just like he'll never give up on you no matter what.
That's true.
I would say, you know, Toy Story 1 Woody definitely would have, but he's grown.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I get the sense that Lotso has given up on everyone but himself, right?
Yeah,
it's an F you got mine. It's almost Machiavellian. It's better to be feared than loved. It's more reliable. And so, yeah, I think when he realized that love could be lost, he vowed to never be hurt in that way again, and instead get his needs met through other methods.
There's an interesting point to be... We don't really ever see Lotso interacting with, like, his henchmen or whatever you want to call it, but one thing that was telling to me is that when Buzz finds them all having their little fucking gambling session in the vending machine, Lotso's not there. He's never actually, like, going and having the fun stuff. He's still isolated, even when he's put himself at the top. He doesn't have any authentic connections with anybody.
Right. Which is his undoing eventually, right?
Which is why they were so relatively quick to abandon him when presented with, like,
right.
You know.
Yeah, when he got knocked into the dumpster and all the, like, you know, they're just like, oh, well, shit, he's gone, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, and so, you know, he had every chance to try to make, you know, new connections with people and to move on, and he didn't, and Woody and Co did, and that's, you know, the difference. We got there in the end. We figured it out. We figured out the theme of this kids movie. Between all three of us sharing a brain cell. No,
how fucked up is it that Big Baby is just, you know, perpetually like has the mind of a baby and has for, you know, however many years, and Lotso has just been manipulating him this whole time. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
how fucked up is it that Rex is a fully sentient being, but the monkey just screeches all the time?
Right. I mean, I brought
and
this
Bullseye
up
can't
in
talk.
The first movie.
It is weird.
Yeah. In the first movie, it's like they're like, oh, there's preschool toys here. And it's like, okay, but they're always going to be preschool toys. They're never not going to be what they are. Yeah. The nature of the toys, as determined by the kind of toy they are, is interesting. And forgive me for being a bit crass here. There were a few jokes throughout this that I kept thinking, like, this has fascinating implications for what the toys get up to in the bedroom. Like when Mr. Potato Head was like, no one takes my wife's mouth except for me. I'm like, is that what they do? Do they, like, pull each other's parts out? And
you know, in the toy chest when all the other ones are there too? Like...
Right. No, they find a little corner and put up a plastic wall or something. I don't know.
My god.
That was Jesse with, like, the Spanish mode. Obviously, they just had, like, a little romantic dance at the end, but yeah, my mind was already in the gutter from.
No, I mean those jokes are there for the parents, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of jokes, like you pointed out that Bobby was gonna have a great line, and yeah, of course, I gotta love the. It's a classic. It's a classic.
The Ditz
setup,
who's suddenly smart.
Yes, yeah exactly.
And it's worth keeping in mind in the year of our Lord 2025. Just throwing it out there.
Well, the people that seem stupid.
That authority should derive from the consent of the government.
Okay, I see.
Speaking of adult jokes, nice leg warmers, nice ascot.
So yes, good. I remember that.
Yeah. Great stuff.
So I heard somewhere, I don't remember, like, you know, who said this, but I guess there was, like, some interview where they revealed that, like, somehow this Ken has never seen a Barbie doll. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of the character. I'm not even saying that this is necessarily unrealistic or whatever. It's just it's interesting that they went that route, and it made for sort of an interesting character. I love how.
What make you think about it though? How did that happen?
I love how prissy he is.
Yes.
I heard that they were very accurate with all of the outfits.
Nice.
Apparently, the Nehru jacket that she starts ripping that finally broke him is considered an extremely rare collector's item.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
they have that at the fucking preschool. Jesus.
From what I can see from the outside looking in, not being a Barbie head, seems like Barbie heads care a lot about Barbie's history, and so they do it here. They do it in the Barbie movie. They want to see that vast history represented.
I mean, makes sense. It has a long history, and it was very popular. So there's going to be lots of minutia that people care about. Lots of people to potentially care about it.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to talk people who are fans of old toys, in their history.
I wonder what he was talking about. I do remember though, just watching Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and stuff. I swear there was a new Barbie playset advertised every week. There were so goddamn many of them.
That may well have been. Yeah.
And I don't think that those are really the ones that people collect either, because it's those things are probably made in the millions. The ones that people care about are going to be the vintage ones. In the old Beanie Baby magazines, eventually they did branch out to other collectibles, and I think they did have a section for Barbies, and I had no context for it. I looked at this list, and I'm just like, this list seems too short for how many I see constantly advertised, and I guessed that those were probably just the standalone ones and not the. I can't even think of a good example. It's always just here's Barbie with this Jeep. I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking. They should go with Barbie toy collector Barbie.
Yes.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that. It'd be very meta though.
So, as far as earlier I mentioned the pacing being weird. I basically realize now that it isn't. It was. I've only seen the movie a couple times. And I remember for whatever reason thinking that the build up to the escape scene was it does take up a very large portion of the movie, but the escape scene is not meant to be the focus of the movie. It's just kind of the climax, I guess, or one of the climaxes along with the incinerator scene. So I think that aspect of it is fine.
Yeah, pacing seems fine to me.
I do still think that they had one too many Woody trying to convince the others to come back scenes. They did that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would need to go and count. They're really hammering home the Woody's never going to give up on you thing, right?
It felt fine to me. It did come up multiple times, but it was to make a point of that Woody's hammering this in so that they can be Woody, stop hammering this in. If he only mentioned it twice and they were dude, Woody, move on, it would be a little bit unbalanced.
Yeah, you need at least 3. Again, I wasn't counting, but you need at least 3.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. I also don't know if this was the intent. It probably was, but when they were in the daycare early on, when Woody was going to go back to Andy or whatever, there's a scene where Buzz puts his hand out and Woody doesn't shake it, and then at the very end, in the trash compactor scene, he's take my hand and
yeah, and then one more in Andy's room again at the end. They shake goodbye, even though that doesn't end up being a goodbye. But
yeah.
But
yeah, so I don't know what to say about the incinerator scene that, isn't obvious, but, Jesus Christ.
Very intense,
Technically
yeah, I can
impressive.
imagine.
It must have been really hard
Yeah.
to do the rendering on all those little
The
bits and
lightning.
pieces of garbage and the
Yeah.
lightning, and it looks phenomenal. Frankly, still does.
I always try to make a point of trying to find the part that was their technical showing off, and I guess is one of them. I was thinking the daycare itself being just this highly like Andy's room is one thing. The daycare is like way bigger and has way more stuff in it. That itself is also like a big.
There was a lot of what I'm going to call battle damage in this movie.
Oh yeah,
The toys all had a lot of paint and just crap on them all the time. Which I'm amazed they got all that off just from the 2 seconds of the hose at the end, but we'll ignore that. But
just go with it, Buzz.
Yeah, it's they're all beat up. I even noticed Trixie the Triceratops, when she was on the computer for a minute, you could see kind of paint coming off of the tips of her nails and stuff. It's they really put a lot of detail into these models. It's come a long way from just we're going to make a movie about toys because that's what CG will let us make. And now they're we can make these look real as hell.
Yeah, good point. Speaking of Trixie as well, I was a really big fan of Bonnie's original toys. I think they always knock it out of the park with I guess not always, but they often do a really good job with the motley crew of side characters. They're always very fun. I like the thespian hedgehog. Trixie the fucking late night gamer with her long distance boyfriend or whatever the fuck. Dolly was whatever, but yeah, good stuff. I
was gonna when I started talking about the incinerator thing, again, people have brought this up, but there's been overanalyzing over who is holding whose hand in that scene, because Woody is holding hand.
Sense.
Well, no, it's fine. It's more symbolic than anything.
Oh, okay.
Because the main thing is just that before the events of the first movie, before Buzz came in, Slinky was kind of Woody's right hand man, and he literally does take his right hand here. They haven't really had that much of a connection since that first movie, but I don't know, possibly what they were going for. I saw some people claiming that Potato Head is constantly giving Rex a hard time for just being annoying, but he kind of embraces him at the end there. They're holding hands. It maybe wasn't as thought out as people are making it seem like, but there's a couple things in there.
People certainly do like to overanalyze Pixar movies. They are good and have a lot worth appreciating. But
I mean, certainly some of those. Yeah, some of those are very intentional. Obviously, Buzz is with oh God, what's the cowgirl's name?
Bonnie.
Jessie. He's holding Jessie's hand because they love each other, and he's holding Woody's hand because it's the aforementioned stuff. And then Woody
I called him Eddie, and now you called him Army.
What did I call him?
You started to call him Army.
Army? No, they come in later. No, but Woody is in the middle of the shot, I believe, kind of bridging the two groups. He is holding the group together, right? Which has been his job for the past 18 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And Rex is
grown a
also
lot
there.
since the first movie. It really shows the connection of.
Yeah, it's wild to again. I never saw Toy Story 4. It's wild that they made a sequel to this movie.
I don't know. I mean, the one thing I know about it is that there is the weird fork guy who is made. It was made by a kid, I think, just out of crap. And so I guess they're exploring what does it mean? How does it work? What does it mean if no?
It would have been interesting if they did that. They didn't.
Man, so what the hell is it about?
It's about Bo Peep being a bitch. So,
awesome.
here's me. I'm gonna go off the handle here for a bit. When I saw Toy Story 4, I thought it was fine. I was people kept saying this movie didn't need to be made. 3 ended perfectly. Why would you do this? It's obviously just a cash grab. I watched it. I went in with an open mind, and I'm that was pretty good. But the problem with me is I think everything is like at least
Pretty
decent
good until you watch a review.
and then I'll see other people who have more critical thinking who go over it and they're like, this sucks actually, and then I'm like, oh shit. So I will say the movie has, some redeeming factors, but it kind of sucks. It ruins a few characters. Forky has no point.
Great.
It's like 3 or 4.
And yeah, now we're getting a 5th one apparently.
Which is about, what was it, fucking iPads or something?
Yes.
It's
Oh no.
like, yeah, kids don't play with toys anymore. They're always on their dang phone.
I was noting as we watched, this movie is in an interesting place technologically, where it is at points showing how far technology has developed since Toy Stories 1 and 2. Right? He's got he's on his cell phone, and he wants a cell phone more than, but it's a flip phone, right? But it was also made in 2010. There are no smartphones in this movie, right? There are no iPads. And so, am I saying that they could make a good movie involving Toy Story with iPads? I have no idea if they will.
I'm actually kind of surprised that that's not what 4 was. Since by 2019, people were already talking about like iPad babies and stuff.
Yeah.
When's 5 coming out? Like next year?
I actually think there was like a new trailer released today. Let me look it up.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there was.
Timely.
Yeah. It says June 2026. So.
That sounds right. They tend to do June releases.
But yeah, if you want a, without giving away any major plot details, summary of Toy Story 4. Oh no, Andy isn't getting played with enough for like a week. And so he starts thinking that he's worthless. And then Fork comes in and is annoying. And then they go to a carnival, and Buzz is stupid, and Bo Peep shows up, and they're like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever, and Bo Peep is really, really mean for no reason. And then they just kind of waste a bunch of time. There's an antique shop that plays a role that mainly exists because, like, look, we can do realistic dust now. And there's, and then it kind of ends on a shitty note, but yeah.
So for the record, did you call him Andy on purpose again to reference me saying that, or did you also accidentally call Woody
Just
Andy?
because we all need to do it at some point.
I guess I accidentally did it. I didn't notice it.
I noticed and I wasn't sure.
God damn it.
Well, now we've all done it.
Yeah. Well, you called him Ani. That's different.
Whatever. It was closer to Andy than it was to Woody, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
There was a hadoo in this movie.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
There's a sneak preview of Breath of the Wild. There's a sneak preview of Breath of the Wild.
Gliding?
Does a paraglider off the roof.
Yes.
Hyrule hang gliding adventure is Tis the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild is Hyrule rock climbing adventure.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
This is not really like a profound thing to say, but I enjoyed the solution they came up with at the end, because I was trying to figure out, is there really much of a metaphor for like what this whole everybody's gotta tough it out with the younger kids or whatever. I couldn't really think of anything, but within the context of the movie at least, I was thinking what are they gonna do eventually when they overthrow Lotso? And the whole they have to take shifts, and they have little they swap out, and they get their breaks, and they have people cheering them on. That's a cute way to do it.
Yeah, unlike some other movies involved with Barbie in a prominent role, the dystopia here does actually have meaningful reform.
I know nothing about the Barbie movie, so I can't comment on that.
That's my Barbie hot take.
I mean, are you talking about the real world? Because
well, I mean, so this is not a podcast or video about the Barbie movie, but my beef with the Barbie movie, right, in service of kind of making a joke about how the real world hasn't seen much reform. They don't actually implement any sort of reforms in Barbie Land.
Yeah, it just kind of goes back to the status quo, right?
Yeah, an
Like
unjust
the Kens
status
realize
quo
they have a shitty lot,
that gave
then...
birth to the problem in the first place.
Right, yeah. Yeah, good point.
So let's make the Venn diagram of Stinky Pete and Lotso. No, I think we probably said everything we need to about him. I've seen some people claim that they were like they basically just did the same villain again. I don't think that's necessarily the case. They both kind of have like one of them never knew love, one of them knew love and lost it, and it kind of leads to like a different situation, I guess.
No, definitely similar.
I don't know. I feel like we should have more to say about this one. I was looking forward to rewatching it. God, it had a million characters, but most of them never really did much.
It was kind of normal.
It's Brown.
Yeah, every character has their bit, and the bit is not overplayed, and so I end up liking all of them. Right? I like Rex. I like the potato heads. I like the little green aliens say the claw exactly 3 times, no more, no less. That's the correct number.
Yes. I only remember 2. There was like a little toy at the I'm just gonna call it the restaurant.
Say it in the cold open when they're manipulating the thing, and then they say it at the daycare, and then they say it obviously at the end.
Right. I will point out the plot convenience of them being among the very few toys that Andy has held on to, despite kind of being like these, junky little throwaway things.
Yeah.
I do wonder if, like, I feel like there's a good chance the movie was written without them until they're like, okay, we need to have like an out at the end here. Like, okay, what saves them from this scene? And then they kind of had to work backwards, and they're like, okay, I guess we'll put the aliens in the movie. It's also interesting to me, again, just from trying to imagine this in a realistic situation and not just like, these are the toys that became main characters, how a piggy bank ended up being one of Andy's favorite toys.
Yeah. There weren't even that many coins in there.
It's like, in the ending scene where he's kind of showing them all off to Bonnie, it's just like, oh, he's also evil Dr. Porkchop. Like, it's like this one little bit that you saw in one of the previous movies. It's, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid flick. It's fun. It's good. The jokes are funny. The characters are strong. The themes hit. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say they probably should have ended it on this one.
Yeah, probably.
Even if 4 it had its moments. It's. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Look, I've gone into everything in this with an open mind. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have high expectations, but I won't.
That's the thing. I wouldn't even necessarily call it bad. Just kind of unneeded.
Mm-hmm.
I guess pull up comments. I will stall. Okay, good. I don't have to stall then.
We don't have too many here. Just people saying it's nice to see the series back again. Nice to hear from Data again.
Hey, it's nice to be here.
And then
check out my annual Neat Games videos.
I might actually. I'm always looking for new stuff to try. But yeah, one person just kind of sharing their personal experience with Up, that they really liked it as well, and they kind of had like a special experience, but that it's very much tied into like, not that specifically, but like just agreeing with Josh that like your age with certain things will correspond to how fond you are of it. You'll have more of a emotional connection to stuff from when you were younger. Makes sense. And then one other point that I thought was interesting. This comment says, on the topic of Muntz's popularity in universe, how many actual explorers from the real world can you name outside of Christopher Columbus? I can't really think of any. I imagine most people didn't even know who Muntz was when Carl was a kid. So him meeting anyone close to his age who had a fascination with him in Ellie was nothing short of a miracle. That's a good point, I guess.
Amerigo Vespucci.
I was also thinking of Amerigo Vespucci.
But yeah, that's about it. That's about where I got.
George Everest?
Jacques Cousteau, I think. I don't know if he was an explorer. I think he was.
Was he fictional?
Okay,
No, I
now
think
I have
he's
to look
real.
him
He was
up.
like an ocean explorer, right?
Is he?
He is not fictional.
Okay.
And yeah, he's a oceanographer and also filmmaker.
Okay.
Anyway.
He did become fictional at one point.
No, that
allowed him
happens
to
to the
evolve
best
his,
of us. I can't blame him.
Green Cockle into a Vestovia,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, rather than drag this out and keep thinking of little nuggets of things I could talk about, I guess we should just, kill it.
Leave that for the comments. If you think there's anything we missed.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly valid. I would be fine to share more things in
What's
comments.
your favorite little visual joke in Toy Story 3?
And yeah, we're going to be taking a break from Pixar for a while. I don't know how many things we will do before coming back to it, but we've stuck with it for this long. I think we should probably give a break for a while.
Mix it up. Yeah. I don't know if we'll do any DreamWorks stuff or if we'll just do like random one-offs, but we'll see.
Indeed.
Just go with it, Buzz.
Just go with the bus.